The first lesson, I think, is know your customer. Who do you sell your product or service to? In the case of Bud Light, beer is a total commodity. There's nothing different. The only difference is the brand. And what does that brand mean to your consumer?
That's Shark Tank's Kevin O'Leary talking about the Bud Light boycott. Trump recently took to social media to say that it's time to let the boycott go. We'll see if Kevin agrees. Welcome to Nerk News. I'm Nerkish. Today we're going to break down Trump's recent post on Truth Social saying that people should give Bud Light a second chance. We'll look at what the response has been so far, and I'll tell you whether or not I think he's off base. So on Tuesday, Trump said that Bud Light has paid the price for its partnership with Dylan Mulvaney, and also threatened to release a list of woke companies. Here's the post. They made a mistake of epic proportions, and for that, a very big price was paid. But Anheuser-Busch is not a woke company, but I can give you plenty that are. He goes on to say, I'm building a list and might just release it for the world to see. Why not? The radical left does it viciously to well-run conservative companies and people. Very nasty, but it's the way they play the game. Naturally, this sent shockwaves through the conservative movement. Don Jr. took to Rumble to back up his dad, saying, I'm not for destroying an iconic American company, not for something like this. Frankly, they still don't participate in the same woke garbage that other people in the beer industry actually do, who are significantly worse offenders when I looked into it. And for what it's worth, Caitlyn Jenner echoed this claim, saying, as someone that's worked for this incredible American company and got to know them very well, I raced for them in the 80s, I agree with Donald Trump. Well, there you have it. That should tell you all you need to know about where I stand on it. Regardless of what the left says, we're not a cult. We can disagree with Trump on things from time to time. For starters, Anheuser-Busch isn't an American-owned company. It was bought during the recession in '08. It's an international mega corporation. You don't owe them any loyalty whatsoever. And as for Trump's motivation on all this, some people have been saying that he's been bought out because there's a major fundraiser for his campaign next month, hosted by one of the beer company's top lobbyists. But I don't know. It's not the first time he's called for a ceasefire with this. Him and Kid Rock were saying that the company had learned its lessons. I think he's just a businessman and always kind of has that capitalistic idea of putting business first and kind of moving on. I just don't think that they understand how sick and tired people are of this stuff. I don't think they fully understand the severity of it. Here's Kevin O'Leary on this.
And of course, the whacking stick came out all over the place. And that's the right thing to do. But the more important lesson to every other CEO of every other S&P 500 company is, look what happened there. Don't let that happen to you. And it continues to happen. Everything they've tried hasn't worked. You just see that slow grind down in market share. Keep reminding your customers why they hate you every day. How dumb is that?
Now, to Kevin's point, Bud Light has been trying to pull out of this tailspin by bringing back the Clydesdales and partnering with the UFC and right-wing comedian Shane Gillis. But I don't know. Some conservatives don't think that's enough. Here's Matt Walsh.
It'll be one of the greatest conservative cultural victories in recent times. Will turn into one of our greatest self-owns in recent time, where you're winning, you've done something, you're successful, and then you just stop. You simply stop for no reason. It's like, well, I'm bored. Let's stop doing that. Have you noticed the left never does that?
This is the correct stance. I mean, Bud Light hasn't even admitted that they've done anything wrong. Here's Aaron McIntyre on X, who you should follow, by the way. Bud Light is a pretty small and stupid hill, but if conservatives can't stop drinking a garbage beer long enough to pressure a company who obviously hates them, the idea that they can win any kind of power is laughable. And then he gives these 3 criteria that he thinks we should be adhering to, which is enemies fired, friends hired, money to your patronage network, HR pushes your values, it's not over until all conditions for victory are met. This is where I stand with this. Bud Light has not met all of these. This reversal is a containment strategy. It's designed to bring right-wing people back onto the reservation. And frankly, at this point, I would say it's not even about Bud Light anymore. It's about sending a message. For years, the left has boycotted every little implicit thing that they might not like about a corporation. The CEO of Chick-fil-A is Christian. Let's boycott them. Hobby Lobby doesn't pay its employees to get the pill. Let's boycott them. But on the right, we have to endure nonstop propaganda and degeneracy in everything from sports to kids' cartoons. And this isn't even implicit like their stuff. It's a very explicit and open contempt and mockery for our beliefs and way of life. So no, Sorry, I don't think we should give Bud Light a pass. I think we should figuratively put their crumbling corporations on a pike so every CEO thinks twice before they run ads from the useless DEI hires they put in charge of marketing. This wasn't an oopsie. It wasn't New Coke. It was very deliberate, just like our response should be to it. I mean, just look at some of these ridiculous articles they've been writing. Headlines like this are worth the price of admission alone. But let me know what you think. Is Trump right on this? Should we give them a second chance? Do you drink Bud Light? Let me know in the comments. Until then, this has been Nerk News. Boy!